email marketing flows should be literally bringing in like 20% of your total store revenue. So that's why, as a part of my free e-commerce email marketing course that I'm putting together for my YouTube channel, I'm going to make a video about email marketing flows, how to make them, what are they in the first place, and which ones do you actually need. So here's our agenda for today's video. In today's video, we're going to cover the following stuff. So what are email flows or automation? They're the same stuff, but you're going to see that in a minute. What flows do you actually need? A complete breakdown of every single one of the 8 core flows, okay? And then how to build flows from scratch as a complete beginner in Klaviyo, okay? So here's the system I'm going to show you how to build in this video. I know it might look a little bit overwhelming, scary, too complicated, right? Trust me, it's very simple, I promise. So don't worry about this. After this video, you should be able to build out this entire sales step by yourself. So here's a little bit about me, if that's what you want to know. If you don't care, that's also fine. So what are email automations? Now, before we begin, this document is going to be linked in the description. No need to give me your email. No need to sign up for a newsletter so I can send you something you don't really care about. You can just go ahead, click the link, open it up, follow the instructions, and build out the system. So what are email automations or email flows? First of all, why do we have 2 words? Basically, email automations, they're called that because they're automated email sequences. Pretty straightforward, right? And flows because that's what they're called in Klaviyo, and that's what I'm going to use from now on. So to make it clear, in this video, I'm going to call them email flows, but it's the same thing as email automations, whatever, just to make it clear. That's what I like to use. So that's what it's going to be like in this video. Now, what are they in the first place? They're basically pre-built automated email sequences that target people based on a specific action they took, right? So that means that we have certain triggers, right? Every single flow has its own trigger. So for welcome flow, your trigger is going to be when someone joins your list. So when someone joins your list, they're going to get added to the welcome flow, they're going to go through the flow, receive all the emails, and hopefully buy in the end. The trigger for the abandoned cart flow is like when someone added to cart, but they did not make a purchase. That means they abandoned their cart, so they're going to go through this flow, they're going to get added to the flow, go through the flow, receive all the emails in the flow, and hopefully buy in the end. So now you probably know there are like 2 components to e-commerce email marketing. We have campaigns and we have flows, right? So what's the difference? The difference is the following. So campaigns, you have to write, design, then you pick a list or segment you want to send it to, then you choose a time and date as well. When do you want the person to receive it? And then all the people in the list or the segment are going to receive that email when you click send, right? Or when you schedule it for. For the flows, it's a little bit different. So you can't really pick who receives the email. You can't really pick when do they do it, right? The only thing you can pick is like based on what trigger people are going to get added to the flow, and you can like map it out. Like they're going to receive the first email, and then we have 3-day time play, and they're going to receive then the second email, and then after 6 hours, they're going to receive the third email or something like that. That's the only thing you can control. But other than that, you can't really control when someone joins your list or who joins your list or stuff like that, right? And the main difference is the fact that flows are completely automated. They're going to get sent automatically, right? Campaigns are manually. When I say manual, it doesn't mean that you're going to send it to 10,000 people manually, like typing in their email address. It just means like you're going to click send and then it's going to get sent, right? So do you actually need flows? Like, is it really that important? Do you really need to mess around with that whole scary system I showed you, and then you're going to build that? Is it really going to make a difference? Well, it absolutely is going to make a big difference, because if you do that properly, if you set it up properly, they should be bringing in about 20% of your total store revenue. That means that if you're doing 100K a month for your brand, like total revenue, not just email revenue, they should be bringing in about 20K, which is, as you probably agree, a big thing. And then if you scale it up to 150K, they should be bringing in more like 30K a month. So it's a big thing. Don't neglect it. They are actually going to help you scale. The main thing about this is the fact that this is email marketing. You need to remember that, which means that there is no ad spend. Most of that is just profit, right? So this is super cheap and is bringing in a lot of revenue, which means it's super important, right? So the best thing about flows is that you actually set them up once and they're just working on your behalf. They're just bringing in all the revenue, and it's like literally like passive income, right? Now, obviously that's like, in theory, that's like foundational level. If you actually want to get the best results possible, like what it look like actually in real world, top brands are actually continuously managing the flows, optimizing them, like testing stuff, different offers, different kinds of copy, different kinds of designs, product, this, that, CTA, this email, that email, time delay, right? So you have to actually test them and optimize them if you actually want to be bringing in the best results possible. But for brands that are just like don't have too much time, you can actually go ahead, set it, forget it, and you will be getting some results. Are you going to get the best results possible? No. Are you going to get some results? Is it going to be bringing some revenue automatically? Yes. So what is the actual idea behind the flows? The idea is very smart and it's super simple. The idea is that you have a flow around every single point in the customer journey. So you can see this funnel here. People come to your website, they join your list through your pop-up form, right? And then this is where the email marketing funnel begins. So you can see we have the welcome flow, then site abandonment, browse abandonment. We're just guiding people, moving them down the funnel closer to their first purchase, right? So the idea is you have someone join your list and then they're going to go through the welcome flow. And the idea behind that is we're trying to move them down. And then with this flow, we're trying to move them down and move them down and down and down to the first purchase. Then these are your pre-purchase flows, right? Then once they bought for the first time, we have our post-purchase flow. So this is going to be our immediate post-purchase. So we're trying to improve the customer experience, right? And we're also trying to get people to buy for the second time, for the third time, for the fourth time. Like we're trying to increase the lifetime value, and that way we're going to increase our profit as well. So the 8 core flows. So these 8 flows are your foundation. So these are like must-have. These are not like nice-to-haves. It would be cool if you had this one. No, these are your must-haves. You need to have every single one of these. And then once you build all of these, you can think about adding some fancy ones, some fancy splits and features and all that. But until you've built all of this, we're not talking about anything else. After that, you can talk about adding like replenishment reminder, 1-year anniversary, I know like espresso shot flow and stuff like that. That's fine. But first of all, we're focusing on these. So what are they? So they're basically welcome flow, site abandonment flow, browse abandonment flow, abandoned cart flow, abandoned checkout flow, post-purchase flow, Winback flow, and sunset unengaged. So these are going to be your basics. You need to nail the basics. This is going to be the 80-20 of your email marketing flows. After that, you can add some fancy stuff if you want to. For example, if you're running like a supplement brand, you can absolutely, and you should absolutely add like a replenishment reminder flow. Is going to be very, very useful. But at the beginning, this is all you need, okay? So don't stress around anything more than that, because as you can see, this is already scary. I'm joking, this is super simple. You'll see in a minute, but you don't really need to make it more complicated than this, okay? Now, welcome flow. So the goal of this flow is super simple and it's super straightforward. So first of all, we're trying to just deliver people the discount, okay? That's the main thing they sign up for. They're looking to that, okay? But what we're looking to do with our welcome flow, besides delivering the discount, is we're trying to leave a good first impression. Why is that so important? Yeah, they saw your paid ads, they saw your website, they decided, obviously they were good enough, so they decided to come to your website through your ads and then sign up to your list. That's absolutely fine. But even with that, like if you were to have a really cool ads and really cool website and everything, right? But then you just had a really shitty emails, right? People might still buy from you from your ads, but they're not going to come back to your emails. They might even unsubscribe, right, immediately. So they're not going to get hooked in. The reason we're trying to get people hooked into your email is because it's way cheaper than ads, right? Like there is no ad spend, because why would you try and get people to buy from your ads if you can do the same from email? Absolutely, you need ads for people to come to the top of your funnel, but if you can rely on email marketing to convert people at the bottom of your funnel for effectively free, like for almost free, why wouldn't you do that? Because that's like all the ad spend that you're going to spend on the ads could have been your profit. So that's the idea. We're trying to leave a good first impression so people come back to read your emails and then hopefully buy from them. Then what we're trying to do is we're trying to get as many people as possible to convert immediately, because once someone signed up for your list, they're literally the warmest they're ever going to be, okay? That means that we're going to try to convert as many of those warm leads immediately, so we don't really waste time, right? We can immediately try to convert them later on for the second, third, fourth purchase, whatever. And then that's the idea, right? We're trying to lower our cost of acquisition because we're going to convert them immediately. That means we don't need retargeting ads or anything like that. And then we're trying to educate our customers who did not buy immediately and then pride them for the future to buy in the future, right? That's the idea. So if they don't buy immediately, we're just going to educate them, show them what our brand is about, our USPs, social proof, all of that stuff, right? So we're going to just prime them to buy in the future. That's fine. Like people are not ready to buy immediately. That's fine. We're going to show them what our brand is about so they might buy in the future. So basically, on a basic level, like we're just trying to introduce the brand to the people and then get people to buy. And then those people who don't want to buy it, we're just going to try to get them to buy in the future because we laid a good foundation. So here is the outline of this flow. For the trigger, we have added to newsletter. Now, what is really important about this trigger is that you actually connect this flow to the right list, okay? Because it needs to be connected to the list that is connected to your pop form, which means that people who are coming to your pop form are coming to the same list, and then they can go through this welcome flow. If you miss the list, like if you connect it to the wrong list, then this is not going to work because people are not going to actually go through the flow, okay? Filter, so place the order 0 times over all time. This means that we're not going to send this to the people who have bought already, but we're not on your list, because why are we going to give them a discount because they are already a buyer of yours? So there is no point in doing that, okay? So for the first email, we don't have time delay. Why is that? Because people just sign up. They're expecting a discount in their inbox literally every second. And then if you set like 5-minute time delay or something stupid like that, people are just going to cool down, right? They're not going to be as warm of a lead, and you're just going to lose a sale for no reason. So no time delay, and then the first email. So the first email is going to be an introduction email. The main thing of that email, the main goal is just to deliver discount, right? That's what people are looking for. But what we're also going to do is we're going to give some brief brand background. So we're going to talk like in a couple of sentences only, like what your brand is about, how you started, literally 1 sentence or 2, and then that's about it. We're not trying to overwhelm people because, as I said, the goal here is to get people to use the discount, buy as soon as possible, right? But we're just trying to, as I said, educate them, give them a little bit of a reason to buy. You can show some USPs, so unique selling propositions. You can show some bestsellers. You can show social proof. All of that is fine. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to do every single one of these things. Like, you're absolutely going to deliver the discount, but anything other than that is kind of like optional. Like, these are your building blocks. You can deliver the discount and then show USPs and maybe social proof, but you're not going to give brand background and bestsellers. That's fine. Or you're going to just deliver the discount and then show social proof. Or you're going to deliver discount and that all of these three. That's fine. The main thing is the goal. First of all, the goal stays the same. Right? You're just delivering discount, trying to get people to buy, and don't make it too overwhelming. Like, don't try to put every single bit of information into one email, because in that instance, you're just going to make the email too overwhelming and people are actually not going to get anything out of it. So don't do that. Make it like simple, to the point, a little bit of info, and that's it. Okay. Then after 1 day, so we have a time delay, 1 day. And then we're going to send the second email. So second email is going to be like our story. So we're basically going to share the founding story behind your brand. So whether you founded it or you with a business partner, co-founders, whatever, you're just going to share your story. Don't share too much information. Make sure it's something that is actually that people can resonate with, right? Like literally 100 or 200 words is going to be enough, because if you do anything longer than that, people are not actually going to read it. So you just wasted an email, okay? And then obviously this is going to be a common theme in every single email. You're trying to remind people of the discount. This is very important. So you share a story, remind of the discount. That you give some USPs, remind of the discount. That's what we're trying to do, because you don't forget, you don't take eye of the prize. We're trying to give people a discount, try to get them to use it, and then become a buyer. And then because that way is going to get easier and easier and easier to sell to the same people over and over again, which is going to be extremely profitable. Then we're going to wait one day again, and then the third email comes. So the third email is basically going to be you showcasing your bestsellers. So you can feature like 2 to 6, 2 to 8. In most cases, it's going to be like 2 to 4 or 3 to 4 bestsellers that you're going to show. So you're going to show the bestsellers, give a little bit of information about each, like these are features, benefits, super simple, to the point, no need to overcomplicate anything. And then again, remind people of the discount. Then again, one day time delay. In this email is going to be like social proof. So you're going to do like testimonials, media features, UGC content, trusted by this company, that company, whatever. Basically anything that adds credibility to your brand is going to be a good thing to add to this email. Again, the same thing applies. This doesn't mean that you're going to feature every single one of these sections. This just means these are your building blocks. You can add some of these. Don't make it like too complicated. Like for example, if you don't really have great testimonials, but you have great UGC content or great media features, use that. If you have amazing testimonials, make an email only about testimonials. Don't put anything else in, right? Just don't make it overwhelming. Like don't try to put too much stuff in, because as I said, that is going to lead to people not reading anything. So don't make it too complicated, because there is no reason to do that. And then again, you're going to remind people of the discount. And then we have a 2-day time delay. This is going to be a plain text email from the founder with an angle like, hey, do you need some help? I saw you not place an order yet. Does this mean like you need some help? Do you have any questions? If you do, you can contact our support, or you can reply to this email, or whatever your way of giving people support is. Just make it sound like it's actually coming from the founder, like it's actually like friend-to-friend conversation. Don't make it sound like transactional, like corporate language, all of that stuff. Make it sound like it's actually from a friend, and then frame it like, hey, this last chance to use the discount. It's expiring in 24 hours. I just wanted to let you know that. Literally like it's coming from a friend. That's the angle you're trying to achieve. Obviously, you're just going to adjust it to your brand voice, to your voice, the way you speak, and it's going to work flawlessly. Now, here are some examples. Now, in this video, I'm not going to dive too deep into this welcome flow, because it's going to take too much time. As I said, we have 8 flows that we need to cover. But if you want actually a really good breakdown of every single email in this flow, literally how to make it, example for every single email, what you can do, is a part of this free e-commerce email marketing course. I actually put together this video as well, so you can go ahead and check it out as well, right? So here are some examples. Welcome to Squatch Nation. They're just delivering discounts. So obviously this email is from Dr. Squatch, really good brand when it comes to email marketing, especially. So you can see they just have the discount. Actually, they have the headline. They're just delivering discount here. Now, they don't have a discount code, which is kind of weird. I assume that this is just getting applied to checkout immediately by itself. You can see they're not following actually any of these, which is interesting, right? They're just giving you the discount. They're like, boom, you have a really good offer, 20% off. Go ahead and use it now. No need to give you brand background or anything like that. That is not to say that that is actually a bad strategy. I recommend you do it. But for them, it seems like this is working. Obviously, you can test similar stuff to this, especially if you have like a really strong offer like them, 20% off is pretty strong, or anything above that. Then you can try to leverage something like this, like, hey, boom, email, offer, buy, without anything. That might work for you as well. But I recommend you start with something more similar to this or this. So you can see this email is from Joy. So as you can see, the email is like some brand background, as I told you. Then their offers, you can see they have 2 offers. So they like for subscription purchases, and this is for like singular purchases, right? You can see they have a banner here. So they have their offer and the code here in the banner. And then they're featuring some bestsellers. So as I said, 4 bestsellers in a 2x2 grid. And that's about it, right? Like super simple email. What I don't like about this email is the fact that their hero section doesn't really have images. I like images because it just makes the email more alive. But this is also fine because they have images here. They have colors, design, all that, but it looks pretty cool, okay? And then we have this email from Leme. So this is a brand ran by Kourtney Kardashian. So you can see they have banner here. So the offer and the code is there, and the CTA is there as well. This is a pretty good approach you can take. So you can try and put your codes and offers in your banner. That might work really well for you. Now you can see they have a headline. They have like a quote from Kourtney about this brand, and they have the CTA, pretty cool hero section, right? And then they have some background about the brand and some bestsellers. As I told you, literally like bestsellers, 3 bestsellers, a little bit of features, benefits, whatever about the bestseller. That's it. They're not overcomplicating anything. Literally a couple of words each point, and that's it. And that's about it. Like for these brands, you can see a couple of different ideas, a couple of different angles you can take, and that's what you can apply to your brand. Obviously, if you come up with something better, or if you don't think this actually suits your brand voice, whatever, you're going to change it, obviously. But this is just for you to get an idea, okay? Now, site abandonment flow. So the goal here is super simple. So we're basically targeting people who have only visited your website without performing a specific action. That means that they came to your website, your homepage, whatever. They didn't click on a specific product page. They didn't add to cart, place an order, whatever. They just came to your website and then left the website. So in most cases, the reason that is because your website might have been too scary, too overwhelming. You might have might have had like too many product categories or bestsellers, products, this and that. So what we're trying to do here, or the way we're framing it, is like not sure where to start. Like, hey, I saw you were on my website. Are you like overwhelmed? If that's the case, here's like, we're trying to help you. This is where you can start. So you're going to show them either bestsellers or product categories, or you can do both. So for example, you're selling apparel, you can do like product categories, like, hey, not sure where to start, you can start here. And then you have categories that are like pants, t-shirts, sweaters, and jackets, for example, right? That's something you could do. So here's the outline. Trigger is super simple. So we have active on site. You can see that inside of Klaviyo. Don't need to do anything crazy here. I'm not showing you something advanced, okay? Filters, super simple, a little bit more complicated the first one, but again, it makes sense. So viewed product 0 times since starting this flow, added to cart 0 times since starting this flow, checkout starter 0 times since starting this flow, and placed order 0 times since starting this flow. So why do we have these filters here? Basically, when someone added to cart, for example, that means that they had to be have to actually go to the website first and then view a product and then add it to cart, which means they were active on site first, which means that if we didn't have these filters, we might have been targeting people who added something to cart. So that means that they should be in the abandoned cart flow instead of this flow. So we're trying to exclude the people and target only the people who just visited your website without performing any of these actions. Hope that makes sense. Now, has not been in flow in the last 30 days. Now, this 30 days, obviously, we're not trying to target people all the time, spam people. We don't want to send this flow to the people every single day, right? But why 30 days? This depends on your sales cycles usually. So if you have products that are like lower ticket and people buy them all the time, for example, some sort of a beverage or food or something like that, you can get this down to like 14 days, 21 days, something like that. Or you can keep it at 30, that's fine. If you have something that is like more expensive, longer sales cycles, you can get this up to 45, maybe even 60. But for most of you guys, 30 days is going to make the most sense, okay? Then we have a time delay here. So we have 2 to 4 hours. Now, why do I say 2 to 4? That means that you actually have to go ahead and test this time delay inside of Klaviyo to make sure that you're actually using the most optimal one, because in some cases, 2 hours is going to be 3 hours. In some cases, 4 hours is going to perform better than 3 hours. Who knows, right? We're going to test this stuff because this is going to be a very high leverage test. Then the first email. So as I said, you need some help. You're going to show them bestsellers and you're going to show them product categories, or you can do only one of these. That's absolutely fine. Now, this is going to be enough for most of you guys, but I just wanted to show you an advanced strategy as well. So what you can do after this email, you can kind of like make a split. I'm going to show you how to do that. Don't worry, which is going to split people by whether they have purchased before or they haven't. So if they have purchased before, you're not going to do anything. This is going to be the only email they receive. If they haven't purchased before, you're actually going to send them an extra 2 emails. And the idea is that you're going to remind them of their welcome code, okay? So you're going to send, they haven't purchased before, you're just going to send, again, like site abandonment emails, but telling them, hey, like you still have your welcome code active. And then the second email is going to be like, hey, your welcome code is actually about to expire right now, so this is the last chance to use it. So this is kind of an advanced strategy. You can use this, absolutely. For most of you guys, this is going to be enough. This is your foundation. But if you want to add this, you can absolutely do that. It's going to work pretty good. Now, here are some examples. You can see like, welcome to the Floodiverse, or you can see this, we noticed you checking us out. So that's kind of like the idea. Hey, we saw you were on the website, and then I'm going to show you some products, and then you might decide if you want to buy or come back to the website, right? So you can see like, welcome to the Floodiverse, and then you can see like, boom, we have this product and this product and this product and this product, so you can come back and buy, right? These guys don't really show the product categories or bestsellers, right? But they have a really strong offer, so they're like, hey, come back to the website, buy, we saw you were on the website. So it might be a smart idea for you to do that because we have a 52% off, right? They're giving you a discount code here and the offer, and they're showing you why they're different, so they're showing USPs. That's their strategy. For most brands, actually, I've seen that they're doing like product categories or bestsellers, right? But this can be good as well. Now, browse abandonment flow. So the goal here is the following. We're basically targeting people who came to our website, just like for the site abandonment flow, but who also clicked on a specific product or basically viewed a product page. So we're trying to get them back to the product page and buy the product, or at least move them down the funnel, so closer to the purchase. Or so basically come back to the product page, buy the product, or if you don't buy the product, we're trying to get them back to add the product to cart or start a checkout so we can convert them through the abandoned cart or abandoned checkout flow, okay? So this is the first flow where we'll be using dynamic content. So dynamic content is basically like a block in Klaviyo that shows the exact product the customer viewed, or for example, in abandoned cart, it's going to show the exact product the customer left in their cart. So this will make your emails way more personalized, and this is going to really increase your conversion rate. Now, if you don't know how to make that, I actually made a video showing you exactly how to make dynamic product section inside of Klaviyo. So it's going to pop up right now. Go ahead, watch it. It's a really good guide, and it's super short, and it's super simple to do, okay? So trigger is, as I said, view the product. And then we're going to do the following filters. So added to cart 0 times since starting this flow, checkout started 0 times since starting this flow, placed order 0 times since starting this flow, and has not been in flow in the last 30 days. So it's basically the same filters, just without viewed product 0 times since starting this flow, because that's the trigger we are using, right? It's going to be the same rule moving down, right? When you do abandoned cart email, abandoned cart flow is going to be trigger is like added to cart, and then we're going to remove it from the filters. It's super simple, right? Then we have a time delay, so 45 minutes. Obviously, this is going to be something you have to test as well. So 30 minutes versus 45 versus 1 hour, for example, that is going to be probably the sweet spot. Somewhere in between those, like 30 minutes to 60 minutes. But you can try and test even more than that, like 2 hours, 90 minutes, whatever. First email is going to be a simple reminder, and you're going to show them a dynamic product blog that is going to be kind of like the main content of that email, just like a dynamic product blog, a simple headline, and a CTA. Most of the people are actually going to buy just from this. Then after 1 or 2 days, you can show some social proof. So again, dynamic product blog, social proof, maybe risk reversal as well, but dynamic product block is going to be kind of like the main content in all of these emails, like abandoned cart, browse abandonment, abandoned checkout. In every single email where you can do it, you should definitely do it because, as I said, it's making it way more personalized, and it's kind of like using the emotions because people are actually see the product they left in the cart or they viewed because they're like, oh yeah, I left this in cart, I actually want this. They're seeing the product again, which is kind of like making that reinforcement. So that is very important. Then we have 1 or 2 days time delay again. So here for these 2 emails, this is optional. You can introduce the discount here. So you can offer them a discount or and then show a dynamic product block as well. This, if you want to do it, if you can afford to do it, you should do it. And then the last email is going to be like a last chance. So kind of like a follow-up for this email. So last chance to use the discount is going to expire in a couple of hours or tomorrow or today, whatever, up to you, right? What you can do as well, you can do the same strategy as for site abandonment. So you can split after these 2 emails based on whether they purchased before or not. So for the people who have never purchased from you, you can do like a reminder of the welcome discount. That's absolutely fine as well. Now, here are some examples. You were checking this out and we saved it for you. So you can see this is dynamic product section. This is literally the product they left in the user left in the cart or actually viewed, right? And we have a CTA, and then you can see some USPs here, but that's about it. Like you can get away with having just this, like headline, super simple sub-headline, dynamic block, and then CTA. Even this might be too much in some instances. You can add it, maybe like a second email or something like that. But for the first email, you can literally do just this. The same thing you can see here. Don't move on just yet. Like a simple headline, super simple body copy, CTA, and then you can see dynamic block here. What I don't like about this is the fact that the dynamic block is just too low in the email. I would like it if it was like above the fold, just like here. You can see you open this email and you can see the product you viewed immediately without needing to scroll or anything. This email requires you to scroll, and it might be a little bit too kind of like confusing because you just open it and there is no content. You don't know what you need to do. So for the people who don't actually scroll, they're not going to understand what this email is about, even though it's about the actual product people viewed. So what I would do for this email is just put this like here so people can actually see it without needing to scroll. I would probably even remove this copy so this can be as high up as in the email as possible, okay? But overall, this is a pretty good email, especially from the design perspective. You can see it's looking very, very cool. Now, abandoned cart and abandoned checkout. So these 2 are very, very similar. So that's why I'm going to cover them together, but they're not the same. They might be similar, but it's not the same thing. A lot of brands like think they actually have an abandoned cart flow, but in fact, they actually only have abandoned checkout. These are 2 different flows. You need to have 2 flows, okay? This means that they're missing out on all the people who added the product to cart, but have not started a checkout, because abandoned checkout is going to target only people who added to cart and then click like proceed to checkout. They started a checkout process, okay? So for all the people who added something to cart, but never started a checkout, you're missing out on all of that revenue. So our strategy will be that we have 2 of the same flows with different triggers. This way, you're not missing out on any revenue and you're saving a lot of time since you don't have to create 2 different flows. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to create a abandoned cart flow with all the emails, all of that, and then we're just going to clone it, change the trigger from added to cart to checkout started, right? Remove the filtered, and that's about it. It's going to be 2 of the same flows with different triggers. Now, you can make it slightly different, like change the wording somewhere or use different angle, or for example, give a discount for the abandoned checkout and not for the abandoned cart or something like that. That's absolutely fine. But if you're alone time and you're like a smaller brand, you don't really, you have other high leverage stuff to do, this is something you absolutely do. Just go ahead, copy and paste the flows, like literally clone it, change the trigger, and it's going to be absolutely fine. So as I said, the difference between these 2, as you can see here, like this is me adding something to cart, and that's it. I leave this part, that's abandoned cart. But if I were to click proceed to checkout and then come to this page and leave this page, that means that I abandoned a checkout. So these are 2 different things, as I said, which means that we need 2 different flows. So the goal here is obviously to get people to buy by reminding them of the product they left in the cart or they started a checkout with, and we're going to do that with dynamic content blocks, right? So what we're trying to do is like show them the product, overcome objections, show heavy social proof, risk reversal. Basically anything that is going to push people over the line is going to be a very, very good kind of content that you should put in these emails. So here's the outline. As I said, it can be pretty much the same. The only difference is going to be in the triggers and the filters. So the trigger for the abandoned cart is going to be added to cart, and filters are checkout starter 0 times since starting this flow, placed order 0 times since starting this flow, and has not been in flow in the last 30 days. As for the abandoned checkout, is going to be trigger is checkout started, and for the filters, you're just going to remove this checkout started 0 times since starting this flow, and you're just going to put placed order 0 times since starting this flow and has not been in flow in the last 30 days. Then, as I said, what you can do is the same strategy as for the site abandonment, so you can split people based on whether they purchased before or not. So for the people who have never purchased before, you can actually remind them of the welcome discount. For the people who have purchased before, you can follow this structure. So the structure is going to be the following. You're going to, first email is just going to be a reminder like, hey, here's your product that you left in the cart. You're just going to show them a dynamic product, right? You can add some risk reversal or some social proof, but the main content of that email, the first email, is just going to be literally like the dynamic product, headline, CTA, that's about it, right? That is going to be after 30 minutes. Obviously, this is going to be something you need to test. So after 20 minutes, after 30 minutes, after 45, after an hour, but a sweet spot in most cases is going to be 30 minutes. Then after 1 or 2 days, you're going to hit them in another email. So it's going to be like heavy social proof, dynamic product block. Again, obviously that is going to be part of every single email, but in this email, we're going to have like testimonials, UGC content, maybe USPs, media features, whatever. It's like bonus points if you can get testimonials to be about that specific product they left in the cart. So that applies to you if you have like not too many products, or you have like one main product, you can make a split based on that. So for people who only added that product to cart, you can actually send them an email that is going to feature testimonials that are specifically about that product. But if you have a lot of products and you can't really make that split, it's absolutely fine. You don't have to stress about it too much. We're just looking for something that is actually adding credibility to your brand. Now, a quick advice, right, is like when you're adding these testimonials, don't just pick testimonials that are like great company, great product, that's it. Pick testimonials that are actually overcoming some sort of an objection. So for example, hey, I just got this product and received it very fast. The shipping was very cool. We actually had an issue. I missed the size or something like that, but the customer support was very helpful. There were no issues at all. They were very fast to respond, and they changed my product for a bigger size or something like that. Something that's actually very specific that people can be like, okay, I can imagine this happening, because first of all, people might think that like the reviews are fake if it's just like great product, great review, a great product, great company, whatever, doesn't even mean anything. And also like the second example I gave you is actually overcoming some specific objections people might have. So that way you actually have some use case for those testimonials, because besides being able to say like, yeah, we have like 3,000 5-star reviews. Who cares if you can actually use those testimonials, right? So third email, so for the people who have purchased before, you can optionally do like introduce a discount in this email. So you try to convert them with the first two, it didn't work, you can try to introduce a discount. That is a valid strategy at all, absolutely, right? So what you're going to do is like show a dynamic product and then tell them like, hey, you can claim 50% off with this code, use code CART15 or something like that, and you're going to get 15% off. And then after 1 or 2 days, you're going to hit them with another email, which is going to be kind of like last chance to claim this discount. It expires in 24 hours or something like that. Again, dynamic product block, and that's about it. Obviously, this stuff is optional. You can do that. You don't have to do it. It's up to you. This is going to be very similar. Like this branch, it's just going to be this from the beginning. It's going to be like, hey, you can claim 10% off with code welcome10. Okay, pretty much the same stuff. You're just mentioning the discount, the welcome code as well. The same thing, abandon checkout. So as I said, we can just clone it. So we're not going to go through the same flow, right? If you want to change something, as I said, for example, you might not want to offer discount in this flow, but you will offer it in this flow. That's absolutely fine. You can change stuff like that. You can maybe change the wording somewhere, but overall, they're going to be very, very similar. Now, examples. So you forgot something. Your cart is waiting for you to check out, complete your order. So you can see dynamic product here. Now, what I would like to do as well, the same thing as I told you about browse abandonment flow, you're going to have this section up here, okay? The same thing would apply there, right? So people can actually open the email, read the full content, right? And they don't really need to do anything special about it. They can just open the email, see the section, no need to scroll or anything like that, making it super easy for them. Then you have some USPs there, like us versus them or something like that. That's absolutely fine if you want to include it. But as I said, most of the emails that look like this are actually going to perform a lot, like very, very good, right? In a lot of cases, they're going to perform better than these emails that have a lot of different content. So you can see this email, super simple. Like we have a headline, dynamic product, boom, very big, bold. That's what I like to the point, no content. It's not buried down in the email. You can just open this email and see this dynamic product section. And then we have a CTA here. You can see they're actually showing the price. That's something you can split test in your emails. So whether it works better when you show the price versus not show the price, that is going to be a high leverage test. But overall, this is what I told you about. Like you can literally have like headline, dynamic product section, CTA. That's it. Now, post-purchase flow. So the goal here is super simple. We're trying to target people who placed an order before, and we're trying to do that immediately. Like as soon as they place an order, they're going to receive the first post-purchase email. So there are 3 main goals of this flow. We're trying to improve the customer experience by sending a thank you note from the founder. We're going to push for another sale to increase LTV, and we're going to try to remove buyer's remorse. Now, as I said in this video, I'm not going to break down every single email in too much detail because we don't have much time for that. But as a part of this course, I made actually a video about post-purchase flow as well. You can go check it out. And I actually made a video about abandoned cart and abandoned checkout flows as well. So you can go and check that out on my channel. It's going to be a playlist as well with all the modules of this course, right? But usually the first email of this flow is going to be like a plain text email, since that's kind of like the best way to give that personalized thank you from the founder. If you were to try that as a design email, you could, but that angle, like thank you from the founder, wouldn't really work that well. You could try a different angle, but this is going to be kind of like the best thing to start at, okay? Now, here's the outline. So trigger, placed order, we don't have any filters. And as I said, the first email they're going to receive immediately. So it's going to be like, thanks for your order from the founder, plain text email, again, friendly, seems like it's coming from a friend, not some corporation. And you're going to try to upsell them. So you're going to subtly try to recommend, suggest they actually buy something else from you as well. Then after 1 day, you're going to try to upsell them like a little bit more direct, right? So you're going to be like, why not place another order? You're going to show some bestsellers and something like that. That is absolutely going to be very important because that way you're going to increase your lifetime value and your profitability, right? And then after 3 or 4 days, we're not going to try to upsell people anymore. In this email, we're going to try to just feature our social media because people have just bought. Maybe they don't really want to buy again. That's fine. We're just going to try get them to follow us on social, so we're going to stay top of mind that way, right? The main key here is that you feature only one social media. You're not going to try to get them to follow you on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. You're just going to pick one, like either your main one, like the biggest one, or the one you're trying to grow the most at the moment. You pick, for example, TikTok, and you just tell them like, hey, follow us on TikTok. This is why you should do it. Like we're putting together different kinds of videos, whatever. It's super funny, or we're putting together educational content or something like that. That's fine. Follow us on TikTok, and you're going to get a lot of value or something like that. Okay. Now, here's some templates for your post-purchase flows. I'm not going to go through each and every single one of these. They're super simple, but I'm going to go through the first one so you just get an idea. So as I said, plain text email from the founder. The idea is like we're trying to get them, like congratulate them, like thank them for the order, and then make them believe this is a super good choice they made and try to upsell them subtly, right? So subject line is going to be like, we got your order, first name, and then we have the body copy. So, hey, first name, I just wanted to send a quick personal thank you for your very first order with company name. It truly means the world to us. When I started this company, my goal was simple: to create, mention core product benefits or purpose or whatever. So this part here is really important. You actually make it very, very specific to your company, to make it very, like, you can't make it something that could actually be said to another company, right? It has to be 100% about your company. It can be something that could be mistaken for some other company, right? We believe you deserve the best, and we're thrilled you chose us. Your order is now being processed with care, and you'll receive tracking information very soon. In the meantime, if you have any questions or need anything at all, please don't hesitate to reply to this email. Oh, and one more thing. Many first-time customers find that once they place their first order, is the perfect moment to explore complementary items or other favorites. If there's anything else you've been considering, now might be an ideal time. Shop now. Thanks again for trusting us, and welcome to the company name family. We're so glad to have you. Your signature, and then you have a PS section, Explore Bestsellers. Now, this is going to be for the people who bought for the first time. This email is going to be for the people who bought for the second time. This email is going to be for the people who bought for the first time, and this email is going to be for the people who bought 4+ times, right? So we're going to split them like that, so it's kind of like even more personalized, because these are plain text email. It's going to be super simple. No need to like design 4 different emails, since it's just like typing out. Even the emails themselves are pretty similar, so you don't need to overcomplicate anything. That's why I would just go for actually making this split, so it's actually way more personalized and way more. You feel special when you receive like a personalized email like that, right? So when it comes to upselling them, cross-selling them, as I said, the same thing is going to apply here. Like if you have like one main product or one product or only a few products, you can do something like make a split based on what they purchase and then try to sell them a complementary product or something like that. You have like one main product and then accessories. That is going to be a very good strategy. If you have a lot of products and they're not like, there's not a clear main product, then you can't really do that. What you can do is just like show bestsellers, right? So for example, you're selling apparel and they bought a t-shirt and jeans and something like that. You can be like, hey, these t-shirts are also very popular. You might want to add them to your cart as well. Something like that, okay? So, Winback Flow. The goal here is just to encourage another purchase from your old customers. So here we're targeting people who have purchased from you before, like 180 days ago or something like that, like 6 months ago, but have not been placing any orders recently. So we're trying to win them back because after all, they are people who expressed interest in your brand, but they may have forgotten about you or something like that. So we're trying to remind them and maybe give them an incentive, like a discount or something like that, to buy again. So this is going to be very important, since it's way easier to get something to buy from the second time from you than it is to get them to buy for the first time. So we're just trying to find the old customers who are actually probably interested in buying from you again. They, as I said, might have forgotten about you, or they did not have an incentive in a long time. So you're just going to come back, remind them, give them probably a good offer, and they're going to buy a couple of them, right? So here's the outline. Trigger is like placed order, and filters are placed order 0 times and starting this flow. And then you're going to wait 60 to 180 days. Now, as I said, if your products are something that is getting bought really frequently, it's a lower ticket product, something like that, you can get this down to 60 days, 90 days, whatever. If it's something that people don't really buy that often, if it's something that actually is like higher ticket product, needs a lot more thought about it, right? Then you can get it up to 120, 180, maybe even more than that. That's fine. That's up to you, up to your business, right? So the first email is going to be like, hey, it's been a while, a reminder of the brand, and you're going to show some personalized pics for the customer. Then after 7 days, you can introduce the discount. If they haven't bought after this email, you can introduce the discount. So you're going to offer a discount, you're going to show some bestsellers, some social proof. That's a very difficult word. And then after 2 or 3 days, you're going to be like, hey, this is the last chance. If you want to get this discount, this last chance is going to expire in about 24 hours. After that, it's not valid anymore. It can be framed as a plain text from founder. That's absolutely fine. You can try to do a design email. This is something you can split test as well. Now, here's an example. So we miss you and your fridge. Get 20% off site-wide. Restart 20. So as I said, this kind of like the same angle these guys that I told you about. Basically, hey, here's an incentive to buy again from us so we can restart the relationship, right? Your previous order, this is a pretty good angle as well. You can try to do that. You can do this inside of Klaviyo, and you can see social proof here. That's kind of like what you can do. This is a pretty cool angle. I'm not sure if this brand is running this as a first email, like immediately giving them a discount. Not sure. You can try to do that as well. You can try to convert them without a discount. Up to you. So, sunset unengaged. The goal here is this is neither like a pre-purchase or a post-purchase flow. This is more of a flow for list management. So the goal is just to filter out the people that aren't active on on your list anymore from the ones who are, okay? So after we get the inactive profiles, we filter them out through this flow, we're just going to suppress them, and that way we're going to lower your Klaviyo subscription so you're not wasting any money, right? So here's the outline. Trigger is added to Unengaged, so you're going to make an Unengaged segments inside of Klaviyo. They're going to show you how to do it. Super simple. And then you're going to have these filters. So open email 0 times to starting this flow, click email 0 times to starting this flow, right? And then the first email is going to be like, hey, is this it? Like, we missed you. It's been a long time, right? Are you going to come back to us? Something like that. And it's going to be like, hey, click here to unsubscribe if you don't want to receive these emails. If you do, we're going to assume you do want to receive them because you opened this one or something like that. And in most cases, it's probably going to be a plain text from the founder, because that way you're going to have a better deliverability, which means that the likelihood they receive an email and open it and check it out actually is going to be way higher than if you had like a designed email, okay? So that's what I would go for. Now, here's an example. So, hey there, it's your name, your founder's name, right? Founder of company name. I noticed you haven't been around in a while, and I totally get it. Life gets busy. But if you're still looking for the best product to sell, whatever you're selling, supplements, creatine, apparel, whatever, I wanted to remind you why company name is the best choice. You're going to list some benefits out, like features, benefits, USPs, whatever. Something short, to the point. Don't make it too long to overwhelm people. If you don't want to receive these emails from us, you can unsubscribe here. You're going to insert your unsubscribe link here, and then this is going to be your signature, and that's it. You can see this email is to the point, very short. You're not beating around the bush. You're just being direct. Hey, do you want to be here or not? That's fine. If you don't want to, just let us know. And that's it. Now we're going to go into Klaviyo, where I'm going to show you how to build these flows actually. But if you need any more help, you can book a call with me. First link in the description. I'm going to perform a free Klaviyo account audit, as I said, completely for free from me. And then you're going to get some info about your brand. And then if we see we can actually help you out, we're going to make you an offer that we run your brand's email marketing on a purely performance basis, which means that you only pay a percentage of generated revenue, which means that there's literally no risk for you. As I said, this document is going to be linked in the description completely for free. No need to give me your email or to sign up for a newsletter. Go, click, open it up, and follow the instructions. So right now we're going to go to Klaviyo. All right, so here we are inside of Klaviyo. So this is a dummy account I have here, which means that I don't really have anything connected, which means that I don't really have Shopify connected. But what I'm going to show you now is I'm not going to show you how to create every single flow like step by step, right? I'm actually going to show you how to create flows in general so you can learn how to do it by yourself, okay? So here we are, Klaviyo, dummy account, homepage, right? What you're going to do is navigate here to flows, right? And then you're going to click create flow. Now, you're going to have a lot of templates, especially since you're going to have like Shopify connected, or if you're using, I don't know, WooCommerce or something like that, whatever. You're going to have a lot of different templates that you can use. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to build them from scratch so you can actually learn how to think about this, so you can learn how to do it by yourself, right? So we're going to come here, build your own, and we're going to give it a name. So let's say we're building like a site abandonment flow. You're going to name it site abandonment, right? And you're going to click create flow. Then you need to choose your trigger. The problem with this, as I said, is I didn't really have triggers connected, metrics connected, because I don't have Shopify, but I'm going to pick this. Yeah, I have active on site because that is an API metric. So we're going to choose that. That is going to be the trigger for the site abandonment flow, active on site, right? Then when you come here, you're going to choose your profile filters. So that's something I'm going to show you how to do. So for this flow, it's going to be, so you can see you have a lot of different options here. So for this flow, it's going to be what someone has done or not done, person has. Viewed product, you're going to find it here. I don't have it, unfortunately, but you're going to find it. Viewed product, and you're going to say 0 times. You're going to change there, and then here, since starting this flow. And it's really important that you don't really mess up like and or. So for or, you click here, and then you can delete it. For and, you're going to click there, right? So you click here, and you're going to add another condition. So for all of these filters, is going to be and, right? Which means that every single condition has to be met. If you say or, that means that one of the conditions needs to be met, right? So, and what someone has done or not done, person has, you're going to say add it to cart, right? Add it to cart, you're going to find it there. Add it to cart 0 times. So we're going to find here 0 times since starting this flow. And what someone has done or not done here. Person has checkout started. So you're going to type it there. Checkout started, find it, right? Person has checkout started 0 times since starting this flow. And what someone has not done or not done, actually it's not going to be that one. It's going to be has not been in this flow. So this one in the last 30 days. So you can change 21, 30, whatever, up to you. You're going to go ahead. I'm going to delete this because I don't have anything set, but you're going to go ahead and actually save that. You're going to click save, right? And click save here. And then you have your trigger set, and now you can build the actual flow. The way you build flows, you have these actions, you have timing, and you have logic. So the first thing we need for this flow, for example, for the site abandonment, is going to be a time delay. So you're going to come here, take a time delay, right? You're going to pick what you're going to measure it in, days, hours, minutes. So in our case, it's going to be hours, let's say, and we're going to do 1 hour, okay? You're going to do 1 hour. It's going to save. Then you're going to drag an email here, drag it there, and you have your email there. Then how do you build emails? So you're going to come here, select template, and you're going to build an email. So you can either select a pre-existing template or a template that you have saved before, or you're going to create it from scratch. So how do you create it from scratch? Click here, click create, right? And you're going to have like drag and drop. So in most cases, what we do at my agency, right, is we just do images in most cases. For like literally 99% of our emails, we do images. So you put drag an image, you're going to slice it. I'm going to make a video about that soon as well. Don't worry, how do you properly upload images to Klaviyo. So as I said, you come there, drag an image, whatever, next image, and that's how you build an email. If you want to do it in an old-fashioned way, you can do like text, image, all of that. It's going to look way worse, but if you don't know how to design and you don't have anyone who is going to design it for you, that's something you can do as well. So that is going to be an email. Then you have this option here, skip recently email profiles, that is smart sending. So this option, when turned on, is going to skip anyone who received an email within the last 16 hours. So for this email, we're going to turn it off actually, because as I said, like we want people to receive these emails so they can move down the funnel. So we're not actually going to stop people from receiving this email. Then after they receive the first email, you can add another time delay. So after a time delay, let's say after 2 days, they're going to receive the next email. And that's how you build flows, right? Following all the frameworks, outlines I gave you in the description, you can actually just copy and paste it into this builder and it's going to work, right? How do you split test different emails, first of all? So you can come here, create A/B test, right? It's going to load for a second, give it a second, and then you're just going to change. So you have two variations. You're just going to change what you want to split test. For example, we have variation A, which has subject line that says, you left this behind. So that is like your abandoned cart, for example, you left this behind. And we can say something like, in this variation, you can say your cart awaits, for example, right? So that is how you're going to split test your subject lines. Or if you want to split test your actual content of the email, you're going to come here, click edit email. It's going to load. You're going to make the changes you want. Click exit, right? You're going to come here. You're going to come here. Overview. Sorry, no, not there. Done. You actually have to submit the message, configure test, and then you're going to publish the test. Sorry, my bad. So that is how you run A/B tests for emails. Now, how do we actually A/B test time delays? So that you can really do for emails. You have to test this time delay. So the way you do that is you come here, you take conditional split from here, drag it over there, and then you're going to select random sample. So you're going to save that. What this is going to do is this is going to just direct 50% of the people down the no branch and 50% of the people down the yes branch on a completely random basis, right? So you're going to take that, you're going to clone this time delay, drag it here, and let's say you're testing, let's say 45 minutes versus 1 hour. You're going to drag that, right? And then you're just going to clone the email. So you're going to clone the first email like this, drag it here, and then let's say you don't want to test after this one, you want to keep it to 2 days, you can just make this join. So this means that half of the people are going to go here, half of the people are going to go here. So 50% are going to wait 45, 50% are going to wait 1 hour. Now it's really important that you keep the actual email itself the same for both variations. So that way you can actually attribute the different results to different time delays, right? So you have two different branches, and then after they receive after each like half receives their email, they're going to come down here, they're going to get joined, and they're going to continue down the same path, okay? How do you actually measure the results? So come here, show analytics, and then you can see like, let's say you get 300 deliveries for this one, and for this one, you can see like, okay, this one that waited for 45 minutes, generated whatever, $500 in revenue, this one generated $600 in revenue, so this one is clearly better, right? That's how you're going to judge the actual performance of a test. And that's how you more or less build flows inside of Klaviyo, right? So you're just going to continue the same way, right? You're going to build your email there, then you're going to add another time delay, and then you're going to add another email, set this one to 5 days, 3 days, whatever, up to you. Basically, you're just going to follow the outline that I gave you in the document that you can, by the way, get from the description. It's linked in the description for free, no email required, no opt-in required, anything like that. Open it up, follow the instructions, and build your flows. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this video. As I said, first link in the description, you can book a call with me completely for free. I'm going to perform a free Klaviyo account audit. So I'm going to give you the exact stuff that you need to work on that is actually already good. So what you need to focus on basically, if we see we can actually help you out, we're going to make you an offer to run your email marketing on a purely performance basis, which means that there's literally no risk for you. You're just going to pay on results, which means that you can just do it effectively for free, right? So if that's what you want to do, first link in the description, go ahead, book a call. And if you want to see other videos from this course, go ahead, find them on my channel. Most of them are going to pop up throughout this video, so you can get a lot of different email marketing knowledge. So that's it for this video. That's it for me for this one.